Good morning, Misfits. It is TDS Tuesday on The Daily Breakdown. I'm your host, Zach Bonvilio, aka The Misfit Patriot. Welcome to the LFA family. P. Year Out, Moose for Trump, C. Michaels, Eileen Jimenez, Amanda Collins, Bumba, Funmon, of course, Bad Moon, Eden, Marfay, and T. Hodges. How's everybody doing today? All right, it's going to be a good show. It's going to be an interesting show, okay? Because I know it's not Woke Wednesday, all right? If you've never seen the show before, we do this theme of the day, all right? And Woke Wednesday is essentially where we try to talk about horseshoe theory, all right? Horseshoe theory is the concept of the far right and the far left sort of meeting at the tip of the horseshoe. If you can visualize a horseshoe, right, and how it's shaped, the tips of the horseshoe are closer together than the handle. Does that make sense? Right? Um, and we're seeing it more and more, and we're seeing it with people who I don't even know if like they were necessarily like far right at one point. MTG was just called far right. All right. I don't think she actually really was. There are other people, same thing. All right. Thomas Massey, I don't think was ever called far right. I mean, I think that he's a different example. Then you have Nick Fuentes, who was definitely far right, definitely 100%. And he's sort of always acted this way. So I'm going to give you guys some examples, but the thumbnail of the day, MTG goes AOC. All right. Now, the for the listeners, it's MTG trying on some clothes, and I look like I work at this department store, and in the mirror, in her reflection, you're just seeing AOC, because Marjorie Taylor Greene dropped a tweet, and if it said AOC at the top of it, it would have made perfect sense. All right, I'm just gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna show you that tweet right away. Okay, right here. Former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. All right, former. By the way, why not delete that page? Right? That is just so she still has her Marjorie Taylor Greene page. Right? She left Congress. Now she has Marjorie Taylor Greene and former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Just make one page. You don't need to anymore. You're fired. Bye. But here it is. So this is from CENTCOM. This is from what was it, yesterday? No, 2 days. This was from, I believe, Saturday. All right, speaking about the Central Command forces launching more strikes against Iran to continue degrading their ability to attack civilian mariners and commercial ships freely transiting the Strait of Hormuz. The commander-in-chief has directed strikes to hold Iranian forces accountable. Now, if you are an American, okay, I'm not saying that you have to trust the government and believe everything the government says, right? If the government says, hey, we're doing this because we're dealing with goat inbred terrorists who are just constantly trying to murder and bomb their neighbors, trying to globalize the intifada. If you've done any amount of research, even a monicum of research on the IRGC, they're not the good guys. Ever. Not one time have they ever even been a little bit of a good guy. Right? But you would read this as an American and you would go, hey, yeah, sure. Right? You may not agree with the initial invasion. You may not agree with the war. You may want to be an isolationist pacifist pussy. But you might also understand that this statement does not make us the bad guy. But Marjorie Taylor Greene goes, Lindsey Graham would be proud. R.I.P. This is sarcasm. This is not R.I.P. like myself did yesterday. Rest in peace. I did not agree with Lindsey Graham on a lot of things. I did not agree with Lindsey Graham. Okay? That's fine. You don't have to agree with Lindsey Graham. He did love this country. He was on our side. Right? I don't agree with how he went about his Warhawk neocon messaging. I do not like that he was a huge supporter of Raytheon and the military industrial complex. Cool. But I wouldn't go and politicize his death in a way where I was trying to sarcastically make fun of him because we're fighting terrorists. All right. AOC would. A whole bunch of people on the left would. A whole bunch of Democrats in power would. MTG, like, I don't know what, 6 months ago probably wouldn't have. Right. And that's why TDS Tuesday applies to today's thumbnail, because it's Marjorie Taylor Greene. She got TDS, right? Nick Fuentes has been doing this for a while. Freaking, the left has been doing this for a while. Marjorie Taylor Greene is very recent. And Trump derangement syndrome, which has stemmed with a lot of people from Israel derangement syndrome, is basically turning people who formerly weren't, in these positions to these positions. All right. Ben Shapiro had a good post here, sort of putting together the other side, right? The people that aren't, they're I don't know if these are TDS people, right? These are IDS people. Israel derangement syndrome, right? You have Cenk, you have Anna, you have Nick, right? Cenk Uygur. Lindsey Graham has moved on to the next step in his journey, trying to convince Hades to attack Zeus and Poseidon. He says it'll only take a couple of weeks and won't require any ground troops. And he says there's no way Poseidon can close the strait. It's actually pretty funny. So it's a funny tweet, right? I'm not I think that's funny. I'm not a snowflake. I think I already showed you this yesterday, but Ana Kasparian and Nick Fuentes, they just wrote good riddance. So that is the former horseshoe. This is the horseshoe that we've always known and seen. Ana Kasparian, Nick Fuentes, they've always looked exactly the same. Right. But Ben brings this up, right? All the worst people agree on one thing. The far left, the Groyper right, and the Iranian state television are all celebrating the death of Lindsey Graham. Same posts, same glee, same horseshoe has become the horseshoe has become a wedding ring. Perfectly stated. The tips are touching. It's a circle. It's a circle. We should get that. We should get that on the soundboard. That's one thing that I have slacked off on. I got things mostly done, and just like everybody else with ADD, I just stopped it there. I was like, I figured out how to do this. I figured out how to do this. And then I was like, okay, we're good. my soundboard, I have 2 buttons that I have figured out how to use. But the scene from what is it? I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. If anybody has not seen the movie, I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. Rob Schneider's character, when he's marrying them, he's like, "It's a circle. It's not a square. A square has sides. It's a circle. It's a circle." That's horseshoe theory now. But also from Ben. Lindsey Graham spent 33 years in uniform, half a century in public service, and the last 48 hours on Earth in Kyiv, standing up for the free world. His enemies spent the day proving exactly why he fought them. Rest in peace. I saw this post about Lindsey Graham. I can't remember who it's from, but it was breaking down his whole life, his military service, and you know what? It actually made it made me feel like even my criticisms of Lindsey Graham at times have probably been a little bit harsh, right? Like, I didn't know a lot of these things about him. Like, I didn't know that he was like really, like, he's a good family man. We get sucked in to the lack of empathy and critical thought that comes with what am I about to say, and is it true, right? And I'll give myself some credit on this, and it's not necessarily enough, but it's something, right? When I do it, I apologize. When I do it, I usually make a correction. When I'm wrong, I'm pretty quick to admit it, right? But I mean, it's a human being. Like I mean, like I try not. That's why I have the rule. I try not to celebrate the death of anybody unless they are 100% a terrorist or 100% a pedophile, right? That's my rule. So I don't do I almost did it. Shit like this. I try not to do that. It's not it's not because I'm afraid of being proven wrong. It's not because I'm afraid of being judged by anybody on the internet. Look over my right shoulder. It's that. That's why. Right? Jesus. Right? God. Judgment. Whether or not I'm walking in and look, by the way, I don't do a good job of this either, but I try, right? I'm walking in the path of righteousness. I don't think that these people are taking that into account at all. Again, Thomas Massey, right? Please, everyone calm down. Lindsey Graham's sister will be MAGA too. This is from a post. Governor McMaster announces the appointment of Darlene Graham Nordone, Lindsey Graham's younger sister, to serve as interim senator. And Massey goes, hey, don't worry, guys. She'll be MAGA too. Like it's a bad thing. MAGA is a bad thing to the left, right? Make America great again is a bad thing for America. Agenda 47 is bad for America. What is Agenda 47? What is MAGA? Like real MAGA. What is MAGA? Not the messaging that these crazy people have pushed about racist and no. What is MAGA? Right? What is the MAGA movement? A MAGA movement is strong borders, lower taxes, it's peace through strength, it's energy independence, it's being respected and feared on the world stage, it's trade, it's strong allies, strong partners, it's putting America first, not only, it's capitalism, it's free market. That's MAGA, right? It's rule of law. But they have made that into a bad word, just like they have made anybody in MAGA into a Nazi or a racist, right? Thomas Massey is no different than a woke leftist. Marjorie Taylor Greene is now no different than a woke leftist. Nick Fuentes has always been no different than a woke leftist. These people are not on the right. We prove this every single week on Fan Mail Friday. On Fan Mail Friday, we show you my hate mail. My hate mail is coming from the right and the left, and it all looks the same. You can't tell. That's why we get so many wrong. I know Bad Moon crushes it at that game, right? Because he's got a touch. He's probably got. I don't know if Bad Moon's a guy or a girl, by the way, but if it's a guy, great. If it's a girl, sorry. I keep on saying he. If it's he might have a touch. He or she may have a touch of the tism, like me, and they're good at it. They're good at being able to sort of read the tiny little nuanced little clues. But no, it's not a theory anymore. It's a wedding ring. Bad Moon is a man baby. Good. Okay, as long as he's a man, I don't care if he's a baby. And again, look, guys, I try to tell you this all the time, and it frustrates me, but I'm not mad at you or anything like that when you do this. It's just I really wish more people would listen to me about how to respond, right? This is and look, I'm guilty of this too sometimes, but I try to keep it right. What a disgusting POS Thomas Massey is. Don't do that. Don't do that. Mock, shame, mock, insult, shame, ostracize. Me so. When you see a post like this, just say, please, everyone, calm down too. Like, and then just like go do something about Thomas Massey. Make him a joke. Figure out how to have a clever response to this, because the post is made to get you upset. And when you show that you're upset about the post, you're giving them what they want. I am Bat Moon. All right, that's definitely Bat Moon's definitely a guy based on what the way he's responding. Um, Ivan Raikland, same thing. Okay, these people like they're celebrating the death of Lindsey Graham. I know we already did this yesterday, but we're gonna do it again because now it's become when I talk about things, like I said, it's not necessarily to talk about the people. I'm talking about the behavior, right? I don't care about this little Igor midget Ivan Raikland, the guy that's obsessed with Dan Bongino and is constantly talking smack, and he's like an Alex Jones fanboy. I don't care. But Ivan Raikland, hey, Lindsey, are you trying to visit Mitch? Implying Mitch McConnell is dead and Lindsey Graham is dead. It's literally just, it's just making fun of people's deaths. Look, I do it. I do it. Right? I'm guilty. I'm guilty too. Last week, I made a post and I said, like, because there's another person who was just shot. And we're gonna get to this. We're gonna cover this because I also see people on our side who I love these people, but I'm like I'm gonna give some tough love once again to a friend of ours. Um, but I saw a story about some someone else getting shot by police after trying to run them over, and a leftist was like, their last words were, and I wrote those last words look pretty good to me, but I spelt it pretty, Pretti, and good, Goode. That's Alex Pretty and Renee Good's names. And it was a joke, and it's dark humor, right? And I'm kind of an asshole for doing it, right? Like, sounds pretty good to me, right? I'm kind of a jerk. I'm kind of a jerk. Right? That is someone's son, mother, daughter, sister, brother, father, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm a dick, all right? But once again, when I do it, I can take a step back and I can go, you know what? That's kind of a jerk move. It's kind of a jerk move. I don't go out there and celebrate it, and I don't freaking, try to encourage other people to do it. I say all the time, I go, we only need one of me. All right? We don't need a bunch of me's out there, all right? You don't need Frank Castle being every superhero, all right? It's going to be messy, all right? I'm the bad guy. I just direct my energy at the other bad guys. But yeah, anyway, I mean, I don't know how many more examples I got of this. I think it was just one. Okay, yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. No, this one wasn't even supposed to be on there. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. Okay, and we'll talk about this. Okay, so the rest of that, I'm going to cover it towards the end of the show. But on the Daily Breakdown, on top of the theme of the day, right, TDS Tuesday, we do the Daily Breakdown, hence the name of the show. I go on the internet, I type in the word news, whatever pops up, we break it down, the Daily Breakdown. Somebody in the chat, pretty good is effing funny. I know it's funny, it's also mean, I'm just saying. Do what I say, not what I do, people. All right, in the chat? All right. I'm telling you, I'm bad. Don't be bad. But I'm just really good at it. Right? I'm really good at it. I'm good at matching energy. I'm good at throwing haymakers. All right. From BBC World News, this is a top story. U.S. judge voids Trump's $1.8 billion settlement with the IRS that gave him immunity from tax audits. Wow, I'm shocked. This is shocking. I can't believe that Donald Trump has to do things that other people don't have to do because it's Donald Trump. All right? So let's read this story. The U.S. like what these judges, man. Look, really quick, just a little side note. This is from last week, right? From last week. I don't know if you watched every minute of the Tyler Robinson hearing like I did. I wouldn't say I watched every minute. I had it on the whole time. I was doing errands. I had it on my phone. I was like, I watched probably 90% of it, right? I watched probably 90% of the whole hearing because I wanted to hear it. I wanted to make sure I'm fully informed on the thing that I'm talking about, so I can properly challenge and debunk a bunch of other morons on there who are going to pretend like they read it when they're actually just, or heard it, when they're actually just cherry picking whatever viral moments that they could weaponize as propaganda. So as I'm watching this hearing last week, the Tyler Robinson hearing, the evidentiary hearing to decide whether or not the trial will move forward. I'm watching the judge, and I'm watching the way he makes his rulings. I'm watching the way he communicates. I'm watching the way that he makes it fair for both sides and considers the constitutional rights of Tyler Robinson as well as the constitutional rights of Erica Kirk and the legal process that the state has. He's really, literally just sitting there. He's going, all right, all right, all right. And a lot of people are saying, well, that's because he's new. That's because he's being extra careful because he cares about his image. Possibly. Possibly. All right, that's possibly. Maybe he'd rule differently if he wasn't on camera. Okay, possibly. But he made me proud of the judicial system. Right? The way that he was handling himself made me proud of the judicial system, which I haven't been proud of in a very long time. It was a view into a courtroom where the judge looked like they were just really, really trying to make sure that the law and justice and the law was served properly. It's like taking it seriously. And yes, the reason why it was dragged out so long was because Tyler Robinson's defense was objecting to everything because they didn't want anyone seeing anything, all right? And that did not make me proud. However, technically they are doing their job. I mean, their job is to try to get their client off. All right? But I mean, like but when you hear about these judges that go we don't know any other details. We just know, all right, a U.S. judge just overturned Trump's decision. A federal judge in some dumb fucking place. Sorry, shit, did it? It slipped.
I don't know why you got to do it in front of the kid with the effing. All you got to do is say earmuffs to him. Earmuffs.
All right. When you hear these stories about these judges who like overturn Trump's decisions or like or tell somebody like, hey, I know you deported this, pedophile, but go get him. Go get him and bring him back. Go get him because he has rights. Like for that type of stuff, you only see the decision and you immediately go, okay, what the hell are you doing, dude? You're not the president. You don't work for DHS. You don't work for ICE. You don't work for who the hell are you? Was this your case? Was this on your docket? How did this come across your desk? Right? Oh, somebody sued somebody in that in this district. Apparently you can just do that, all right? Like that's the stuff that makes me not proud of the judicial system. Stories like this, they make me go, we have a corrupt judicial system. Unlike what I watched last week, which was pretty much just a masterclass in how you should rule from the bench. But anyway, a U.S. judge has voided a legal agreement between a legal agreement. Okay, so this is important. These two words, legal agreement between Donald Trump and federal agencies that granted him immunity from tax audits and allowed his administration to create a since abandoned 1.8 anti-weaponization fund. This is something we talked about a few weeks ago. I said I don't like it. I don't like the fund. I didn't like the idea, right? Essentially, Donald Trump wanted to create a $1.776 billion fund where he was going to be able to use it for people like who were persecuted on J6. Those people exist, by the way. There was a lot of innocent people that were thrown in jail. There was a lot of innocent people that were had the government weaponized against them. There are people who were just like there. Even the weird guy with the freaking horns, right? That guy's crazy, by the way. I met him. He's fucking crazy. Like Jake Chansley, he is not all there, right? He is an absolute weirdo. He also didn't do anything wrong. He was let into the Capitol. He was walked through the Capitol. He was peaceful when he was in the Capitol, and they threw him in jail. Enrique Tarrio, another friend of mine, he was not even at the Capitol. They threw him in jail for years because he texted people, right? And he didn't tell them to do anything. There was weaponized government against innocent people. There were also people on J6, like Jake Lang, who tried to swing a f***ing bat at a cop's head, and I wish he was still in jail. It's not black and white. It's not black and white. However, when the government weaponizes the judicial system against a bunch of innocent people in one collective move, the only thing Trump could do to undo that damage is pardon everybody. So if you're mad about Jake Lang being on the street, blame Biden. Blame Biden's judicial system. Blame them, because Trump had to do what he did. He had to come in and go, I cannot go through 1,100 cases and just go, okay, this one, because then I might get something wrong too. No, they weaponize the justice system against these 1,100 people. These 1,100 people, I have to now undo it. Because it's clear, based off of Chansley, based off of Tarrio, based off of an old lady who was in there. There was an old lady that they threw in jail. There was just so many. There was just so many examples. All right. Now, again, I think with the best intentions ever, right? And I mean that. I think with Trump, with the best of intentions, said, hey, we should make a fund where we tell, hey, people, guys, we got about $2 billion. If you want to hire a lawyer, we'll pay for the lawyer, right? He wasn't supposed to do that. He wasn't allowed to do that. He wasn't supposed to do that. And this judge has now overturned it, right? So the U.S. judge voids the $1.8 billion settlement. But once again, why the hell did the U.S. judge void it? You think if Biden did the same thing, a U.S. judge would be voiding this agreement right now? No. It was a legal agreement. Trump did it in a legal fact. Like it was legal, right? They found it was not, right? And they have voided it. I don't agree with it, but he was at the time allowed to do it. But some fucking judge was like, nope, we are going to direct our time and our energy away from rapists, murderers, criminals, or whatever the hell else is coming across my desk, and we are going to move this to the top. We're going to move this to the top, and this is what we're doing. Just like we're going to move the Kilmar Abrego Garcia to the top. Just like we're going to move the pedophile, the Tim Walz pardon to the top. Just like we're going to move this. They move things to the top. Meanwhile, you have the Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson hearing, which they went through delay after delay after delay, continuance after continuance after continuance, and when it finally came to the judge's desk, the judge ruled accurately and fairly. That's how it's supposed to work. We're not supposed to just do it like this, where it's like, okay, guys, the president that I don't like did something, and I'm gonna move it to the top. The judge should be like, okay, well, I have a murderer over here that I have to deal with. Sorry, wait. Like, in a fair system, this would have been adjudicated years later because it's a legal agreement that was put together, agreed upon, and it shouldn't just be moved to the top of the list so you can dunk on the president, because I'm sure whoever filed this lawsuit knew the right people and got it onto this judge's desks and made it priority, and that's how it works. That's the bull crap I'm talking about. The initial lawsuit, Trump claimed that he had done nothing. Claimed that nothing had been done to prevent the leak of private tax information. But hold on one second. Actually, I'm skipping ahead. Okay, in the ruling, Williams cast Trump lawsuit, which he, two of his sons, and the Trump organization, far from pursuit to opposing sides. Improper. All right, never mind. Sorry, I jumped way ahead. My bad, guys. ADD, dyslexia, freaking autism. All right. The fund intended to compensate individuals claiming they were unfairly targeted by the government was unveiled in May in exchange for Trump dropping his personal $10 billion lawsuit against the IRS. Now, if you remember, the IRS leaked his tax information, so Trump was going to sue them for $10 billion. So Trump sacrificed $10 billion in exchange for a deal where $2 billion would be given to these people. I don't agree with. I think he should have just, in my opinion, I think he just should have just sued for $10 billion, won, and then given them the money, because he should have seen that he should have seen this coming. But essentially, not only did they screw over Donald Trump by doing this, wishy-washy, lawfare type of thing, legal, let's just call it legal card shuffling, right? Now, he doesn't get the money, and the defendants don't get the money. It's a win-win for the establishment. But Trump's the one that's corrupt. Trump was willing to sacrifice a $10 billion lawsuit. He was willing to sacrifice putting $10 billion into his own pocket to give $1.776 billion to the people who the government has been weaponized against. Anyway, on Monday, the judge said the suit was filed for an improper purpose. Okay. She also referred to Trump and state authorities to determine whether ethics rules were violated and disciplinary action were required. Now they're going to go after him for trying to give away money. They're going to try to go after him for trying to give away money. Watch. The lawsuit was never about a party seeking judicial resolutions of legal issues or factual disputes. Bullshit. Provide some legitimacy. So essentially, we don't need to read this whole frickin' thing. It's exactly what I just told you. All right. Anything? Why are these stories are all old? Why are these why do they keep doing this to us? Why does Brave, somebody reach out to the people over at Brave. Tell them they're a little behind. All right, here we go. Notable figures who died from the same heart condition linked to Lindsey Graham's death. All right, look, here, the conspiracy theorists are all out in full force on every other thing except this one. All right, seems like the official narrative is fine with Ian Carroll, Candace Owens, Alex Jones, They're like, yeah, he died. Yeah, he died of a heart condition. Now they're just going to make fun of him. They're not going to try to ask any questions. But apparently, the cause of death is aortic dissection. Okay. Lindsey Graham's sudden death has thrown new attention on a rare but often deadly cardiovascular emergency known as aortic dissection. The cause of death was identified as an aortic dissection due to an cardiovascular disease, according to a statement released by Graham's office on Sunday, citing preliminary findings. It occurs when layers of the aorta come apart and the inner one tears. So, a heart attack? Is it a heart attack? That sounds a lot like a heart attack. I know it's not. I know some a-hole in the chat is going to be like, it's not a heart attack. I get it. You get what I'm saying. It sounds a lot like a heart attack. But they called it a sudden illness. And this seems strange. I'm not saying that it's something it's not. I'm saying it seems strange. It seems strange that he had a hit on him by Iran, that Russia had a pretty good reason to kill him, and he looked healthy like 2 days ago, and then when he dies, they go, sudden illness, and now the sudden illness sounds a lot like a heart attack. Like, it's just not mathing for me, but okay. Then again, because I don't want to be labeled like a freaking psycho like all these other people, I just want to add the caveat. It could be exactly what we're reading. It could be exactly what they're saying. You don't know, so you know is a nice way of saying I'm retarded. I don't know things, but I know them. No, you don't. You don't know. That was the first thing you said. The first thing you said was, I don't know. Stop there. What we are being told would be the way that you would accurately report a story where you have questions. What we are being told is it can come on minutes or days and may be hard to recognize. Noting while dissections can evolve over time, symptoms often appear suddenly. Graham, 71, is not the only notable figure that has been poisoned by Russia. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that on the screen, guys. That was a joke. See? That was a joke. It says he is not the only notable figure to have died from aortic dissections. John Ritter, known for his role on the hit sitcom Three's Company. Okay. Doug LaMalfa. He was a rep. Guys, if you're gonna give us a list of congressmen who died under suspicious circumstances, that's gonna give them more ammo, not less. Alan Thicke. Okay, Alan Thicke. Okay. That's Robin Thicke's father. He was in Growing Pains. Is that it? 3? I thought there was going to be a list of like 10. 3? He's not the only one. There are 2 others. Okay. Look, like I said, I really do. I hate going down these roads now. This is something that I would have, like, 5 years ago. Oh, by the way, yes, somebody in the chat just pointed out something. The chat is pointing out something that makes way more effing sense than all other things to me. Okay? Who can spot which person on the screen got this one possibly right? Possibly spot on. Okay? Right here. Is this possible? Zach, medicine cabinet update? Okay. I will give you the medicine cabinet update. The murder bug predator beetle update in a second. Guys, it could just be this. It could just be this, right? Jab, booster. There has been a. You remember when we saw all of the. You remember when we saw all of the young, healthy athletes and people passing out and dying because their heart exploded because of the COVID vaccine and how it was untested, spike proteins. You talk to Robert Malone, you talk to Peter McCullough, they will tell you that this is something that can happen. This could be it. But again, I want to focus on the word could be, right? I really do. I hate when people come out and they go, "This is guys. By the way, Lindsey Graham was killed in a Russian factory by Putin because he was about to do." Shut up! Shut up! Shut up, Alex! You fat piece of shit. You are the problem. You are the reason Candace Owens exists because you got sued for $1 billion and still didn't shut the up. And she said, "Well, it." Right? Alex Jones seems like he's fine. Whatever. If they sue me, I'll just claim bankruptcy and I'll just keep doing it. Alex Jones is a piece of shit. I used to like him. I used to be entertained by him. Like, I remember when he was on Joe Rogan way back in the old studio, and he was like, "Guys, I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of retarded." Right? Like, and it's funny. It was funny. It was funny for a while. It's like Howard Stern. Howard Stern was funny. It was a guilty pleasure. Then people started believing it. It's like if you believe Jerry Springer is real, or if you believe wrestling is real, you're a crazy person. If you watch it because it's entertaining, if you watch it because it's fun, because it takes you a escape from reality, then it's great. It's great. But when you actually start going, freaking aliens, it's like, you just shut up. All right, medicine cabinet update. Because apparently everybody wants one. If you have not seen the last medicine cabinet update from a few days ago, essentially, oh, by the way, another little update. I won $1,000. I won $1,300. Where was it? There it is. I won $1,300 the other night at that new little casino bar. It's not a casino bar. It's a bar that's got a slot machine in it. Medicine cabinet. Where are you? There we go. All right, medicine cabinet. Oh wait, no, different one. There is no longer a sound. Here we go. This is the latest.
I think this is going to be my final update on the murder bug, predator, beetle chronicles. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Sorry, language.
Right, if you've been following along, weird noise coming out of this fucking cabinet. Definitely something was alive in there. I opened the cabinet with all that shit in it. I looked around. I didn't see nothing. So I was like, all right, I'm going to dump a bunch of fucking this. There's barely I literally just sprayed everything. I sprayed it. All right. And then I taped it up. So I taped it. Like, I basically was like, all right, I'm basically going to bug bomb the inside of that. And I don't know, like a few hours later, motherfucker was still alive.
Sorry.
So, because it's Friday, my building does, by request, free extermination, because we live across from restaurants and stuff. So I said, hey, send him up. He came in. The thing is literally still buzzing while he's here, right? Still taped up.
He heard it.
He's here. He hears it. He opens this fucking thing, right? He takes all the shit out one by one, and there's no fucking bug in there. So I don't know what the fuck happened, but it has been all day, and there has been no noise at all, like there has been for the past 3 fucking days. So I don't feel comfortable, but at the same time, I think the murder bug predator beetle left.
I thought that was a swear.
or didn't exist. I might have been going. I might be crazy. I might actually be going insane. But I posted some videos, and I'm pretty sure you guys heard that motherfucker too. So that's the only thing that's keeping me going right now. All right, well, I'm gonna put all this shit back now, and and I swear to fucking God, if I hear it again, I'm fucking burning this house down.
All right, so there's the. Just tried to keep it. I just kept hitting the bleep button. I was like, Jesus. Hey, by the way,
All right,
hold
guys,
on.
I think this is going.
Now that you've seen that video, if you don't watch my other content, now do you know how controlled I am being on every show? Do you know how much I am really trying not to swear on every show? You're welcome, internet. And for those of you that said something about the TV, yes, I have a TV in my bathroom. And it's not just a TV, it's a multi-purpose TV.
This is actually a really good question.
Somebody
I'm gonna
asked.
show you.
Somebody asked, how do you watch TV while you're pooping if it's not in front of you? Well, here's the answer.
Okay, this is actually a really good question, and I'm going to show you. First of all, the TV, it's actually dual purpose. All right, it's not only
It's tri-purpose.
a TV that I can watch when I'm brushing my teeth. It's also a TV that I can watch when I'm taking a shower. But if I do want to watch it while I'm pooping,
I use my phone.
yeah, I'm pretty proud of myself on that one.
So yes,
Okay.
I will put my
This is
phone,
actually a real.
I will put my phone on the shelf. Yes, I know I should just get a mirror, but I think it's funny. I just put my phone on. If I want to watch something, I just put my phone with the front-facing camera, and I just sit there and I watch TV. That is the coolest thing that's ever been in a bathroom, and don't you dare say it isn't. All right. We got 10 minutes left. All right. Jon Stewart. See, look, guys, this is the left. This is the left. And now this is some people quote on the right. What we need to do is we just need to make sure that we get these people as far away from us as possible. Stop looking at Nick Fuentes saying something you agree with and go, Nick Fuentes is actually reason, because he's doing it on purpose. Just stop. Just look. When you know somebody's a bad person 80% of the time, just say, I don't give a shit about the 20%. I'll go get that 20% from somebody else. It's not hard to do, okay? It's not hard to go, I think that this person is a piece of shit, so I'm not going to highlight them and listen to anything they say. I'm not going to validate anything they say, even if it's right. What does Sean Farish say? If freaking Hitler said water's wet, you don't go, hey, you know that guy Hitler's got some good ideas. All right? Be smart. Be smart. Jeesh. All right, let's get to a few other things that I want to get to. Look, this is, again, look, I love Jacob. I do. I loved him. I messaged this kid and I said, you're the next Charlie Kirk. I think that he is smart, articulate. I think that he's well-intentioned. I think he's very well-intentioned, but he came out and he started jumping on the Massey bandwagon, and I saw some signs, right? Then he came out and he started going, Bibi wants war. And I'm like, dude, you are falling. You're young. You're young, Jacob. And the only reason why I'm calling him out publicly is because I've messaged him privately and he hasn't responded. So apparently he doesn't want to have this conversation, right? Fine. Or maybe he never saw the messages. Okay, fine. But this is an open invitation to Jacob, moderate case. Anytime you want to come on and have a respectful conversation on where we disagree, while you think you are a great debater, I'll end you on that, right? That's not a challenge, by the way. That's not. I mean, you should watch me debate, right? Because you're good. I'm different. Twice in 1 week, ICE has stopped the wrong car and killed the wrong driver. Who gives a shit? Twice in 1 week, no agent was wearing body cam. Who gives a shit? You don't have to be anti-ICE to have a problem with them not having and wearing body cameras. You don't, but this sounds a lot like... This sounds a whole lot like criticism of the Israeli government isn't anti-Semitism. You know how much money it costs to put a body camera on every single police officer in every single town in America? A lot. There's a reason why they all don't have body cameras. And if they aren't wearing a body camera, it does not mean that they did something wrong, like you are alluding to. And also, why is it that the body camera or the wrong driver or wrong car has anything to do with the outcome? In the last one, yeah, they had the wrong car. It was still an illegal. The illegal still tried to run them over. Until you can present me evidence where they did something wrong, right? Where they actually did something wrong, they didn't do their job. Posts like this are speculative and insinuating something that they might not be. Just like your post about how Bibi wants war, that is an insinuation, a well-timed insinuation that sounds a lot like a guy named Thomas Massey. So, while I think that you, Jacob, have the best of intentions, still love you, still think you're amazing, still think you have the potential to be the next Charlie Kirk, want to see you succeed, you are young, naive, and you are taking bait, and it is fucking obvious. Sorry, we've already done enough today, so you've heard it. But here's Jacob's argument, which is a shitty one, by the way.
So there's been yet another fatal ICE shooting, this one occurring in Maine. According to reports, the man's name is Joan Sebastian Guerrero, a 26-year-old who was married with a little daughter who was...
That doesn't matter.
Was reportedly out leaving for work this past Monday morning. The incident happened around 7 a.m. in Biddeford, Maine, and ICE was reportedly sitting on this location as they were looking for somebody who had a final removal order.
That matters.
The video footage that I showed you is the only video footage that we have. It happened right before the incident, and further video footage shows them dragging him out of his car.
One more thing real quick, right? Did anybody see the post last week where people were saying, unless I see a video of Charlie Kirk being shot by Tyler Robinson, I'm not going to believe it happened? That's what Jacob's arguing right now. He's like, I don't have a video. I don't have a video. And that's a problem. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Because there's going to be police reports, there's going to be secondary witnesses, there's going to be a whole bunch of other evidence that we can use to corroborate that either something wrong happened, which is still a possibility, by the way. I'm not saying that something improper didn't happen. I'm saying when you jump on a story like this and say, because I don't know, I'm going to make an insinuation that something may have happened wrong, why don't you just shut the f*** up and wait? Just like I'm telling them to.
He's limp as he was killed. He was shot in the head. One of the issues with this story is that this wasn't the person that they were looking for.
No, it isn't. There is no issue with that part of the story, because if anyone tries to run over a ICE agent and gets shot in the head, that's not weird.
The DHS has admitted that he was the wrong guy. They actually had to walk back their statements after originally saying that they were serving an arrest warrant for this guy. This guy just happened.
Could easily be explained by they were trying to serve an arrest warrant for a different guy, and that is just Something that was just mismessaged.
To be driving out in the location that ICE was watching. Now, what happened after that is going to depend on who you ask. Again,
If that's the case, you should stop talking, right? If what happens next is going to depend on who you ask, then what you're basically saying is, we don't know.
because there isn't any independent, footage showing
There's no footage of Tyler Robinson killing Charlie Kirk.
the actual shooting. The government's version is that he tried to flee and drove his car at an officer, and
You should always question the government. True, but why?
the agent fired, fearing for public safety.
That could be very true.
That statement came almost 12 hours after the shooting.
Irrelevant.
By the way, not going to say that that necessarily means anything, but
Then why the did you say it?
just so you know, there were basically 12 hours of silence following this. The
By the way, this would be the debate. You'd lose.
witnesses have a little bit of a different story. One witness who is on video says that the guy who was killed was trying to drive his car and hit an ICE officer, or
That's what like 5 people are saying.
that was what he got from witnessing it. That was his understanding of the situation.
Okay. Let's assume that might be true. What's the other one?
Most of the witnesses have kind of the same story.
Oh, isn't that interesting? Most of the witnesses say that the guy tried to run over an ICE agent. Most of the witnesses say that. Okay. What are you doing, dude? Why are you making this post? What is the purpose of the post?
They explain a federal SUV chasing down this white Kia, and they rammed it to stop it. They say that the agents then surrounded the car with their guns out, screaming at the individual to get out.
That person should have got out.
Somebody then
If it was the wrong person, they should have got out. If it was the right person, they should have got out. If there were body cameras, they should have got out. If there were no body cameras, they should have got out.
yelled weapon. The car then moved again, and the ICE agent or agents, not sure who opened fire, how many shots were fired, I believe.
Okay, we're running out of time. It's 8:59, but I think you get my point. I like Jacob. Jacob is awesome, but he is going down a path of just asking questions, and when we see this on our own side, we have to call it out early, otherwise he becomes Candace. Got it? Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. All right. Sean Farish is up next with Ungoverned. He's going to be doing a great job. I don't know that. He might suck, but every time I've seen him, he did a great job. So I think that you should stick around and watch it. Make sure to like, share, hit that button. And I will be back here tomorrow for Woke Wednesday, where we will probably go over some of the same things we went over today, because we're seeing a lot of it. Anyway. All right. Bad Moon, Deb Paulin, On the Edge, T. Hodges, Mandy Collins, Sun Dancer, T. Mitchell. We will see you all tomorrow. I know you'll be here, One Sandman. Enjoy Sean Farish. Enjoy Ungoverned. Enjoy the rest of your day. I have so many chores to do, and I got to get my storage cleaned. And I also got to lock down a new project, so I'm going to get working on that. We'll see you later.